President Trump will convene his cabinet today as protests nationwide continue over government cuts and increasing prices from tariffs. NBC's Alice Barr has more.
Requested that
President Trump holding his next cabinet meeting today after the last one led to reported rifts between a few cabinet secretaries and billionaire cost cutter Elon Musk. Over the weekend, some of the biggest protests yet to government cuts.
This is just craziness happening right now, and we're just fighting back.
I will yell to the top of my lungs, we the people.
Progressive Senator Bernie Sanders and Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez drawing tens of thousands against the Trump team's Washington overhaul.
The people of America are going to stand up to Trumpism.
Resign! The people say it's time!
As Democrats search for direction with protests outside the home of the Senate's top Democrat Chuck Schumer after he backed a Republican funding bill to prevent a government shutdown.
Look, I'm not stepping down.
Promising to fight harder.
Donald Trump is a lawless, angry man. He thinks he should be king.
That as the Trump administration is ramping up attacks on judges and lawyers who've stood in the way of the president's agenda, vowing to take a fight to the Supreme Court over the deportations of alleged Venezuelan gang members to El Salvador under a rarely used 1798 law.
There are 261 reasons why Americans are safer today, and that's because those people are now in an El Salvador prison.
While deporting another group of Venezuelan migrants Sunday, including alleged gang members, directly to Venezuela.
We're going to continue to arrest public safety threats and national security threats.
After that country's leader agreed to resume taking in its citizens under the threat of more U.S. sanctions. The Department of Homeland Security says Secretary Kristi Noem will travel to El Salvador on Wednesday to visit the mega prison where the Trump administration sent hundreds of migrants with little to no due process. And Second Lady Usha Vance is set to head to Greenland this week as President Trump talks up a potential U.S. takeover. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Hundreds of local mail carriers protested threats against the U.S. Postal Service's independence after President Trump said he wanted to privatize the agency. Yesterday, letter carriers and postal supporters gathered at the Cleveland Post Office on Orange Avenue, calling for USPS to remain private.
The point of the government was never to make money. No one's making money from the post office, and if you're looking to privatize it, then someone is looking to make money, and I think people will suffer because of that.
Meanwhile, postal workers across the country protested as well in major cities like Denver and Los Angeles. Union leaders at these rallies say privatization would devastate the entire country, but especially small rural communities.